What's up, Cobra Kai fans? Welcome back to Cobra Kai Nation. I'm so you saw that, Cara. So, yeah, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. My special guest is Cara AnnMarie, who played Sue in season 1, episode 7, part of the All Valley Committee board. You may remember Sue. So, Cara, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. I'm really looking forward to talking to you about Cobra Kai. And yeah, we were just talking about how cool it is that you're doing this interview in your RV. I mean, you're all on the go. It's awesome.
Yeah, we just like to keep on rolling, you know.
I love it. It's a cool lifestyle. We're talking about a little bit about traveling, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, like kind of before Cobra Kai, I mean, obviously you're an actor. You said you kind of got into theater as well when you started, and you love that experience. So yeah, what truly got you into acting, or what really inspired you to do that?
When I was young, I was always in musicals, plays in, elementary school through high school. And then I actually auditioned for the opera program at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. And got into that program. And then I ended up kind of being more drawn towards musical theater. So around my junior year, I kind of adjusted my degree to add theater into it. And it was I still have an opera degree, but it was more geared towards musical theater, because I was booking some professional gigs while I was still in college. I was doing theater regionally in the United States. So, and actually, so wild, one of those shows that I did while I was still in college was one of the dancers in our show is a guy named Dustin Lewis, who plays Mr. Palmer on Cobra Kai as well. So it's just the smallest world.
That is insane, yeah.
And he and I were in touch before we booked the show as well, just because we were both kicking around Atlanta. And but so I got a theater voice degree and went on. I moved to Chicago first, very briefly, and booked a tour. And then was bouncing around kind of ever since then, going from gig to gig to gig, coming in and out of New York City at the time. And it just, I did that for a long time. I did some of the cruise Broadway shows that are on cruise lines, which was really awesome. Fun. Yeah, I did one around South America. That was extraordinary. I loved it. And then I did one where we were just bouncing the Hawaiian Islands, and we were on Best Artists. It was a dream.
That is, that would be amazing.
So cool. So, and then I kind of burned out a little bit. New York City was a hard city to be a, actor in and continue to come and go. It was really more the lifestyle of constantly being on the go. You have 4 roommates when you get home, and it just was kind of a lot. So I started then kind of auditioning more for commercials and independent film, and then that has kind of transitioned into more TV and bigger films. It's interesting. I think a lot about your path some of the time. I mean, because I have a 6-month-old, and I think just having him, you become really reflective of your own journey to get to this place. And it's incredible just how one thing leads to the next, and to the next and to the next. And then you look up and you're on a really awesome TV show called Cobra Kai. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, like, I mean, it must be really important to reflect on what you've done and kind of take it in, like slow down in the sense of like, wow, yeah, I've done this. And I can get the mentality where, especially the industry you're in, you're always on it, you're professional, you get the job done. It's also your passion, and you're like steamrolling, going through it, and you might not even realize how much you've achieved. And just to really look back, and it probably just makes you a little bit happy knowing that you've achieved things you want, and you might not even really like fully be aware of that, so like you said, and having a kid, there's a whole bigger picture there, and also all that experience has brought you. So that
do.
sounds really awesome.
It really is. Even I am definitely in a phase of. I mean, I don't think it's a phase. I'm particularly grateful for where I am today, and all of the awesome things going on. So I do, even auditions that come in. You know, you have to audition a lot to get work, and there's just an incredible amount of super talented people in the world, and they're all,
Yeah.
you know, a good amount of other ladies are auditioning for the same roles that I am. And but when auditions come in, and then of course when you book something and you're there and working, I do try to spend time just being grateful that these things are coming to me, and how fortunate that is. And even just to be an actor, I think everything that's going on in the world right now, and there was no work really going on. Now that everything's coming back and people are working again, auditions are starting to come back in, I think there's a new sense of just appreciation for just getting asked to audition for something, because we just had a time that it was gone. So, you know, it's pretty easy to feel fortunate that things are getting back to normal, and that we're lucky to be doing this, for sure.
Yeah, like during COVID, obviously everything was affected, but like, did you find that experience like, I mean, it's obviously new to everyone, but did you find that transition kind of easy, or was it like, yeah, it had its rough patches, or were you like still able to do what you wanted to do?
Going from theater to on camera?
Yeah.
That's what you're asking? No, I found it to be very difficult. I remember hearing people say like acting is just acting, but I don't know, it did not come easily to me to transition. I think especially in musical theater, where you're playing these characters. I mean, I probably played Cinderella and Cinderella a zillion times. So you're playing caricatures of people some of the time. I mean, I don't think there are probably very truthful acting going on in musical theater as well, of course. But for me, I was maybe relying also on my voice a lot more. So when I did transition over, there was certainly a rocky period where I felt like, gosh, everything's too big. It looks too big to me. My eyes are always like really wide when something happens. It works awesome on stage. It's a little bizarre when you're looking at it on a camera, and or the monitor when you're watching your auditions or whatever. But there's awesome. You know, I have just keep learning. I think who the kind of actor that I am today, and the actor that I'm going to be 10 years from now and 20 years from now, you know, I want to always be learning from other actors that I work with, and taking classes. And we always have something. It doesn't matter what field you're in, really. I think you can always be absorbing and making sure that you're aware, and hopefully getting better and better and better. You know, that's certainly my personal goal, and I'm excited to see, you know, that idea excites me. The things that I'm going to work on ahead in the future, and the actor that I'm going to become in the future, is just an exciting thing to think about.
For sure, yes. And then the more and more you kind of achieve what you want, it surely just motivates you more to achieve even more. And then you set like more targets and goals, and it just like it can just happen just like that. So like what kind of actors and actresses did you kind of look up to when you were becoming an actor or during your career?
I actually really, really loved comedic actresses like Madeline Kahn. I love Catherine O'Hara. It shocks me sometimes how wonderful she is. There's someone else that I just saw, and I'm blanking on who it is, but to be able to be that comedic in something that could, you know, it is over the top, but somehow she's able to be so genuine with it. To me, that inspires me so much. I love her. Comedy, I do love comedy as well. I think
It's great. Yeah.
just personally, you know, the more laughter there is in your workspace, in your life, the more, you know, you can play when you are on set. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes when you're on set, it can be a big production that's very regimented, and there isn't a, doesn't at least doesn't feel like there's a lot of room to play around, you know.
Yeah.
That is out there. There's definitely, like, it's a business and you just need to nail your lines and keep it
Mm.
moving. But Cobra Kai, I very much felt that that was it was a different environment. It was one that everyone was excited to see what this was going to become, and there was a lot of room to play and be open to that. It's cool to see where it is now with the transition to Netflix, and think back on when we first got these auditions and
Right.
didn't know what is this. You know, we didn't know this was going to be a hit show,
Mm.
obviously. You know, you get the script for the episode, and you can read in it the comedy and the things that are going on in your
Yeah.
episode, but you don't know, unless you're in every episode, you don't know what the whole story is going to be.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the same for a lot of the fans and a lot of the people that were on from the very beginning. I mean, I think we were all really obsessed with it, you know, and so happy with what it was. But because of the being on YouTube and that being a different platform for people, it just didn't get the kind of love and appreciation and respect that it was going to get when it
Right.
went to Netflix. So it's cool to be part of that journey, and just it's been just a real gift. It's always a gift to work on things, but obviously when people really love the show, that's a even bigger gift.
For sure. Yeah. One thing definitely I love about the show is like, I mean, all the interviews I've had is that I've heard that repeatedly is that there's so much camaraderie and there's like a really good like environment to be in. It doesn't feel like it's like another acting job. It just feels like fun. And I love of course, the humor is one of the things we all love about Cobra Kai. I mean, you got this humor through Johnny, the things Daniel
Yeah.
kind of does, and yeah, through the younger characters as well. It's great. And yeah, like with the show being on YouTube, I mean, and like, no offense to YouTube, but like when you see YouTube Red, you're not really thinking of any shows associated with that because it's so like
A new
there's so much
thing.
competition out there. Like, yeah, you've
Yeah.
got Netflix, Prime, all these other places, and yeah, Cobra Kai. When I first saw it, I was like, "How is this show not on Netflix? How is it not on a bigger service?" And gladly, it's on Netflix now. And like you said, yeah, couldn't have said it better. That it's getting the recognition and the credit it deserves, and testament to the big three and all the cast and crew to creating this amazing show.
Well,
And you
and
know,
I'm
with
sure, I was just going to say, I'm sure everyone that comes on here reiterates that. I mean, not only are Ralph and Billy and all of the stars of the show lovely, welcoming, just wonderful humans to work with. John and Josh and Hayden, the creators of the show, are just some of the best guys around. And
yeah,
they're such big fans of the original movie, so they're so excited. They're just great people, and that is, you know, you would love everything to be like that. Maybe that's a little utopian, but it's awesome that it's happening with Cobra Kai, and I think that's part of the love for it, is that there's everybody who's working on it loves it, and there's the creators and directors of it love it, and I
yeah,
just hope it keeps on going.
for sure. I just think Cobra Kai has just had that. It's very unique, you know. It's not just another show, another reboot. You know, it's a continuation of a big franchise. So, did you know when you did your audition and everything? Did you know that like this was all part of the Karate Kid franchise? Because that must have been like really big moment for you to realize that?
I didn't know really anything. I knew, I
Damn.
mean, I knew what it was, that it was Daniel LaRusso and he was
Yeah.
going to be owning this car dealership. But when you read that, I didn't know what it was so much, you know?
Yeah.
And I actually did not go back to watch any of the movies because I also didn't know how intertwined it was going to be, how much of those characters they were going to use. So I honestly remember making a conscious decision of like, you know what, this is a fresh story. This is a new character, you know, like I'm just coming in without going back to rewatch. And then a very funny thing happened because we also appear in season 1 in episode 10. We were there for a while shooting, and we're sitting at the board, like, or at the table kind of judging, which was awesome because we got to watch all of the stunt choreography.
Yeah.
And that was incredible to watch. I mean, I wanted to leave and like immediately join a dojo somewhere. I was so inspired, as I think everyone who was standing around watching it. It's incredible, really beautiful choreography to witness everybody fighting. It was awesome. So at some point, this was not in the script, Josh came over to me and said, hey, do you know, in the first, I'm not sure if you watched Karate Kid 1 movie. And I was like, it's been a bit since I watched it. And he was like, no big deal. There is a part in it where Elizabeth Shue's character runs out onto the mat and says that Daniel's going to fight. And we want you to do the same thing, but you're going to say that Daniel is going to coach Robbie. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? So we were on our lunch break and I actually called or texted my husband and I was like, babe, do you remember that part? It's a really iconic scene. So within 5 minutes, thank God for YouTube, really. I'm sure that's where he found the and I was able to watch her. So I did sort of, as much as I could, try to imitate her run out onto the mats. And I'm talking to the Keith, who was playing Daryl, to let him know that Daniel's going to coach Robbie. But that was really my first indication while we were working on season 1 that like, oh wow, they're going to really closely utilize whether it be footage or these moments that have come from these movies. I had no idea, you know, now we're 3 seasons in. Of course, I'm in love with the show. I'm watching it and a huge fan. I had no idea some of the stuff that they were going to do. Just incredibly beautiful, like going back to Okinawa, the letters, Mr. Miyagi's letters. I was like,
that got everyone that was so like sweet. And yes, it showed you something else about Miyagi. And like, that was another thing because there's obviously, rest in peace, Pat Morita, he's not with us. So he wasn't part of the series. And I still love how the writers have made sure that he's still part of it. You know, the spirit's still there. So yeah, that scene was definitely an emotional one.
So beautiful. Yeah.
What did you think of the return of Ali then? You know, speaking about imitating her run and stuff in season 1, what was that when you saw that?
I was obsessed with it. I love Elizabeth Shue. I mean, yeah. I loved Adventures in Babysitting, like just all things Elizabeth Shue.
She's great.
Oh my gosh, she's great. And then seeing her, I just loved seeing her with the guys. And then also to have Amanda LaRusso, like it's just a cool juxtaposition of the 2 guys with Ali, but then Courtney's like now she's his wife and just her playfulness with Ali. Like, you know, they're going to be girlfriends if Ali sticks around.
Yeah, like
whatever. But it's weird. I remember telling somebody when I watched it that I didn't know how much I actually wanted that reunion to happen. It was something that I kind of thought like, oh, that would be kind of cool. But then you watch it play out, and it was just so fun to see. It taps into like this nostalgic, just but a newness at the same time.
Mm.
And I think the writers just knock it out of the park every single season. I mean, I can't believe how they're able to just surprise us so much and just also give us what we want at the same time. And they're always
Yeah.
hyping it. And it's like, and there's comedy in there, and it's extraordinary. And I'm just happy, you know, I'm thrilled to be a part of it. It's a complete gift.
Yeah, for sure. If there was a scene or a moment you remember from Cobra Kai, and I mean this is all 3 seasons, in terms of the comedy, what would you say is like the funniest or your favorite scene?
I was just talking about this to my husband. It is when Johnny is trying to like rehabilitate Miguel in the wheelchair. I was dying. I mean,
Was it when he lights the fire?
All of it, like just so ridiculous. I love, you know, Billy's comedic abilities are so wonderful, and that's been a surprise. I mean, when we worked with him, he was pretty playful, you know, even in our board meeting, and that was very fun. So I think that's just his energy is just a great playful guy, and some of the stuff is just too funny, and he's really able to do such an awesome job with the character of Johnny.
Right, and you see this amazing range with the character that we'd never really seen before, because obviously it was very one-dimensional. He was a bully to Daniel and the Karate Kid, and even at the start of Karate Kid 2, you're kind of going, yeah, his senses kind of turned on him, but again, you never had this like sympathy for him, and how the writers have made that U-turn and made you feel for this guy.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of going, wow, okay, Daniel, yeah, he was bullied, but this guy isn't as bad as Daniel makes him out to be.
Yeah.
And that scene that they have is amazing when you guys are there and like they're interacting, having this argument.
It's the first time they've seen each other. I do remember it was maybe when we were all seated at the table, but before Ralph had come in.
Yeah.
I think the other guys and I were talking about like this is the first time they're seeing each other in this show, which is a cool thing to be there at the table with them. And I love, you know, we also, the board has we don't have history with this guy. So I think our reactions to Daniel's reaction, I mean, at least I know for my character, I felt very like, how could you be speaking to him like that? Or
yeah,
you know,
like sympathize.
I don't know the history like that. Like, let's keep it together. You know, he's come to us and we didn't even know anything about this whole beef. You know, so it was just an incredible experience.
So with that scene, was there any different like versions of it, or was it like pretty much what was in the script?
It was pretty much what was in the script. I might be completely wrong, but I don't remember the sorry about your corn dogs when Johnny said that. I don't remember that in the script written down. I feel like that might have just been something that was on the fly. So maybe it was there. I'm not entirely sure, but so funny. I mean, that's one of my favorite moments. I'm sorry about the corn dogs. Oh my god, so crazy.
Yeah,
so funny.
It's just a way like he goes like, no, I'm not here but your corn dogs, and he's like here for a completely different reason.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, I feel like this show does have a lot of great moments where I think there's some like improvisation, and you're like, you get that it's just so authentic. And yeah, like Billy and Ralph obviously been in the game for a long time, so it's just great seeing them come and showing like the younger audience that as well, because they would have just remembered them from the Karate Kid if they ever watched it.
Yeah, I said a lot about the development of Martin Kove's character as well, Kreese.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, in season 3, I was just blown away by the depth of what is going on in his world, what brought him to where we are. That's one of the things that I love, love, love about this show, just as a fan of the show, is that there's really a conversation about people's intent. You know, he's a bad guy, maybe, but he doesn't think that that's not where he's coming from. He thinks he's helping, and it
Yeah.
has a lot of backstory. A lot has happened to this man to bring him to this place. That's pain has brought him to the place where he's now inflicting pain, or that's what we saw in the movies. I had heard too, I did an interview with a bunch of the cast as well, and I'm forgetting the guy's name. Shoot. But he was in the original movies. Gosh, if Matt's still here, he might know the guy's name. But anyway, he said something about how that a lot of that story was something that Martin Kove had in his mind about that character from way back when, which is an awesome acting lesson. That's a school in itself of giving that much of a backstory to someone. You know, you play these roles and they all come from somewhere. They have a life, and so to see that, I mean, it was such a beautiful aspect to season 3 that I loved.
I think Matt's just said something in the stream. He said Ron Thomas. Ron. Bobby. Oh, that's awesome.
Thanks, Matt. So you are useful. I was trying to see if we could ban you from this chatting, but now you really saved me. Thanks,
Matt. That's funny. Yeah, that is really cool. I mean, yeah, Ron's he's a legend. I love what they've done with you know, the OG Cobras as well, as you saw in season 2, them bringing them all together. Johnny seeing his friends. I mean, so heartfelt. And yeah, I mean, so sad as well with Rob Garrison. If you were, so let's say the dojos were all real from the series, and let's say you wanted to do karate, and this includes Eagle Fang, so Johnny's recent dojo. Which one would you see in?
Oh gosh, they're all amazing. Let me be very PC with that. I honestly probably am very environment influenced. So it would be Miyagi-Do, because I do love that Zen garden where they're, you know, that's my jam. And Matt's character had suggested, like, we should have our board meetings there moving forward.
Yeah.
And I fully support that. I think it's such a beautiful, just Zen garden. We would be, you know, very at peace. So I guess I'm going with Miyagi-Do.
That's a good one, because like I think most of the time I've asked that, people have kind of gone based on the principles, like the actual location. That's quite a good way of answering it. And I think when I asked Matt, I think he said Miyagi-Do as well. I remember, his character said in season 3, "Oh, this looks like a tiki something, or tiki garden or something." It's really funny. But yeah, so literally based on the environmental thing, you'd go with Miyagi-Do.
I think so. Yeah. And I think the attitude behind it too is a little more suited to me, maybe more about a Zen tradition, and that feels a little more in line with what I'd want to be a part of, for sure.
Right. So have you ever done any sort of martial arts or karate even?
I have not, but I really think I should. Right now I have a sprained ankle, so I can't even do anything. I feel like a weakling hobbling around, but it would be cool if I got my sprained ankle from, you know, just kicking someone. I don't encourage any of this in real life. Obviously, it needs to be a controlled environment, but you know, I would love to try it out. Certainly, I'm always open to any kind of physical activity that's also really about your mental state and kind of mastering and controlling that. Although I'm not a huge fan of yoga, and I think that is, I just get really peeved all of a sudden, like, why are we not doing positions? Because ultimately I am pretty impatient as a person, which is probably why I need yoga, or I need to take something that is going to chill that out. I would say that, you know, having a baby, I've got become a teens more patient, but that's certainly a goal. Probably as life is progressing, we should all become a little more zen if possible.
Yeah, that's right. The way you said that just made me think maybe Cobra Kai would fit you then, because of like it's not very about like yoga and that. It's like the complete opposite. Like sort of like strike first and all this like aggression. It's all like this energy that comes with it.
I know. And that is probably, so maybe Miyagi-Do is like my aspirational dojo. Cobra Kai probably more suited for where I am right now. That could be true. This might be like the truth.
That'd be amazing. Imagine just seeing Sue like part of the All Valley board realizes she's actually in Cobra Kai or something crazy.
That would be, I mean, to me, it would be a dream to somehow we're, you know, doing martial arts all of a sudden. That would be incredible. And I think I've been saying that, you know, since the show started, really because of us sitting there and watching it all come together. I was just awestruck. You know, I felt like I'm just saying a couple of lines. Those people are doing some real art. Like, that's not that I don't, you know, we did our own art over on our board, but it was so inspiring to me. I certainly am a huge fan of it.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's like poetry in motion in the sense, like doing all these types of moves, all these types of styles, like the origins as well, which is something I love that they touched on in Cobra Kai season 3, like understanding where Cobra Kai came from and where, you know, Miyagi-Do came from. And yeah, it's always interesting to see, like, I see it so deeply. So like you see a move, it's like, what's the journey of that move? Who did that? Where did it start? Where did that style come from? It's like really interesting in that sense, because it's like, why this style? Why did they make it so specific in this way? I'm always like thinking, and then like, yeah, with Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, they're so different, and then you understand like they were used in different ways and all the secrets about it. It's really cool.
Yeah, which has been, I mean, there's so many things to love about this show. If you are not into this one thing, there's going to be another aspect that I think appeals to a different part of your brain. It's weird to me, even, like, this is going to sound so crazy, but people that have not watched the show yet, what are you doing? Like, I don't even know.
What are you doing?
You're missing this, like, just amazing show. It's interesting that there are some people who just, you know, are not tuning in for some reason. You're missing out. I don't know what you're doing.
Do you know what? Like, we should just ban anyone from any sort of tournament if they don't watch this show. Like, let's put a whole ban on them.
I'm pretty sure I have
Netflix
that ability. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can make that happen. I don't know.
Put that at the next tournament. I mean, like, I agree. I've been trying to get a lot of mates into it, and I have been half successful. The other half, like, oh, it's all about fighting and stuff. I'm like, listen, it is really not just about fighting. Like, if you think in that one-dimensional sense, that's your loss. But yeah, there's so much of this about this show, and like I was saying earlier on, it's the multi-generational aspect. Like, kids can watch it with their parents that have problem up with the Karate Kid, and elders, the whole family can watch it. It's great in that way. And
I mean, what's cool is there are people that were familiar with the Karate Kid movies and grew up with those, and then the show is introducing a whole new audience that they missed that, just generationally they missed it. And now they can go back and enjoy these amazing films. So it's such a cool connection that is going back and forth between the show and the movies to the show. You know, they've done just such an extraordinary job with it, and hopefully they, you know, keep winning things and get all the applause that they absolutely do deserve, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely deserves a lot more credit, and I just hope they keep, you know, people are really aware of how great the show is. I mean, obviously, some people kind of find out when the shows have ended and stuff, but you know, it is such a great show, and a lot more people need to check it out. If what's interesting about the show as well is that yeah, the youngsters are that are watching it are as invested as like the people that were watching it, you know, the original Karate Kid, and like they've made arcs in such relatable, grounded ways. Like it's not over the top, and it's still got that 80s cheese, which is really cool, and
Yeah,
it's great the way they've done it. And I think that's also, of course, that's another appeal of the show. What see, this is one thing I've always been interested about. So when Johnny came to the All Valley board and he unbanned Cobra Kai, I was always kind of curious because now Kreese is in control of Cobra Kai. I'm kind of curious like how he's going to turn up at the tournament because like surely he's still banned. I don't know if like John he was unbanned with that whole unbanning of Cobra Kai, but that's just something for me I've always kind of been a bit curious about.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how connected it was just to Cobra Kai, and that there weren't so many specific names associated to Cobra Kai. I think we were just kind of surprised that there was someone who wasn't able to participate. You know, that to me, give as much as we were given, as much information as we were given, that was, you know, to think about there's a group of kids out there that want to be a part of this tournament, and we're not about exclusion. So that, I think, more of our attitude, at least my characters, was, you know, they're welcome to participate. It seemed like he's doing something really valuable in the community, and he was just such a charming character to come into us, and of course he can do whatever he wants. So, and good thing, or else the show would have just ended right at season, you know, 107. If we had not let Cobra Kai back in, that whole first season would have just stopped right there. No
That's
one would
it.
have
End of story. Yeah.
Like he's not. Ralph got his way. Daniel got his way. The show's ended.
That would be crazy. That'd be quite a shocking ending, but yeah, it'd be funny at the same time. Like I love the tournament they did as well in the first season. I think the way they like kind of were taking inspiration from the original tournament, but then having its own spin is just like really cool. The thing with the next All Valley, this is I feel like for me, I just hope like. I mean, as much as I want the good guys to win, I kind of want Cobra Kai to win it. I mean, I just think like, you know, the redemption arcs of Kreese, Terry, or Kreese, Tori, all those guys. There's so much to like get out of this. I feel like with Johnny and Daniel, like they might learn the hard way. If there's a character from Cobra Kai that you like really like or see yourself in, like who do you like a lot from the show?
Sue, my own character. No, she's
I'm surprised no actor has actually said that about their own character. They just you're the first.
Let's see. That I see myself in another character that I see myself in.
Someone you really like.
Again, I'm drawn to comedy, and I love Amanda LaRusso. I think Courtney is a phenomenal comedian, and she's just wonderful. And I just kind of met her briefly in the green room when we were working on season 1 at the tournament, and she's just a great person, and I think I definitely admire her as an actor and as a comedian. She does an awesome job, and it's a great juxtaposition to Daniel. You see that a lot in the alley scene where they're all at the party. I also thought it in when the two couples like end up on that double date. I forgot how much I love that scene too at the Mexican restaurant. They
Yes,
end
with
up on that
Carmen.
double
Yeah.
date, and that is just glorious and awkward and so wonderful. And
Yeah.
she's just, I think she really just leans into this is going to be so awkward and so funny as a character and as an actor. I think maybe that is a little bit of her personality as well. And I just really admire it. I'm a huge fan of hers for sure.
I think Courtney's Amanda is probably one of the funniest characters in the show, because like there's moments where Daniel is getting all worked up about Cobra Kai, and it's like when Johnny like spray paints that dick on the billboard, and like Amanda's like, you blow the competition away. I literally laughed so hard at that scene. Like,
it's just funny. Yeah,
she's goals. That's wifey material right there. Like,
she's really wonderful.
She's just really funny, and like, yeah, like you said, like the contrast with the way she sees things to Daniel. It's like Daniel's getting all worked up. Amanda's like the voice of reason in the show. Even like with the beef between Daniel and Johnny, like she just squishes that very simply. Sit down and talk about it. Where these guys are like getting all animated, and Daniel's kind of hashing the past again. And yeah, I just love how Amanda's so straight up and just saying how things should be, and just being that like icebreaker in a way. Just I love that about her character. And
for sure, yeah, she does a great job with that.
Yeah, and like you said, Ali, I love what Ali did as well, like bringing them together.
Also, her energy coming in seemed really fun. Like she was just, it was fun and funny to her that she was having these reunions, and it just was so, it was such a gift. And I think they're doing that, at least to me, you know, I don't know the future or anything, but at least what we've seen so far are these great gifts that we didn't even really know we wanted to see, but they do. They know we want to see it, I think, because they want to see it. That's what part of the just beauty of what the big three are creating is. It's for them too. They want these moments as well, because they are just as big of fans of Daniel and Johnny and Ali. That they're creating moments that they're going to love. And sometimes I think that if that's who you're creating for, like, at least I'm going to love this. You're going to think this is funny. You know, my best friend's going to think this is funny or whatever. Sometimes that's the best secret of it, is like, well, it doesn't matter if you approve of this choice that we're doing. We're going to do this because we want to see it. And hopefully, you know, now that and maybe YouTube was the same way, just giving them the freedom to really make it however they wanted, allowed for the series to be so great too. So I think that there was value in starting out on YouTube. You know, who knows? I don't really know enough about the difference between YouTube and Netflix. But I would think ultimately it's a business. So I would think that there's some restrictions sometimes with the new show. You know, like, don't be crazy. That seems crazy. Or people have to approve things. You know, I know when you audition, like, it's just such an interesting time to be an actor, because there's all these opportunities on streaming and great shows on streaming. And I think there is a little bit more freedom in what you're creating. I don't know. I know when some of those first ones started coming out, like House of Cards, and I think Ozark was relatively newer. There was a lot more. It was a lot more guided by the creators. When you're things that are on networks, there's just a lot of opinions of what these things should be, and sometimes there's a little bit of magic maybe that's lost in the creation of that. But sometimes there's great shows. You know, it's all over the map, really.
Yeah, I love that, because if a show, well, the thing is, like, if a show kind of loses what it is, that's like, you hope it doesn't. You know, you want to keep that pizzazz that it has.
Maybe of other people that are just business people, and
right, like the passion is going. It's like, oh, it's business. No, this is about the writing, the passion of it. And if you get those kind of people coming in, they're trying to ruin the integrity. that's like, that's going to annoy a lot of the fans and obviously people that want to make great things on the show.
I would think so. So hopefully, I think these guys are doing a wonderful job and should have proven themselves enough that they should have all the freedom in the world to make whatever they want to make.
Yeah, like for sure. So you ready to get some fan questions? We got a few people who definitely want to ask you something about.
This could be very scary. I don't know. We'll see. You have banned Matt, though. I'm like, I don't need him anymore, I don't think. I actually might. I might not know the answers to some things, so maybe I do still need him. I don't know.
Well, hopefully no one asks you some silly things about season 4. So I put that as a little thing, guys. Like, no questions about season 4. Just any cool, fun questions you have for Cara. And Matt, yes, if you have any questions, you're welcome. All right, we have Chosen Vader. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. What's up?
So I know you said I can't ask season 4 questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do want to ask one question though. It's not like any spoiler, but who do you want to win? Who do you want to win the All Valley?
Person-wise, regardless of dojo?
Yeah.
Gosh. I feel so mixed.
I know.
It's, I think I'm in the same boat as everybody else. I'm maybe wanting Sam to win.
Yeah. To be
Who are you rooting for?
I'm going to root for Robbie, actually.
Okay. Because he's had a rough go.
Yeah.
I was almost going to say Robbie as well. But I want to really root for the, ladies.
Yeah.
I want to see, I can't wait to see Sam and Tori fight because they've never been at the tournament. So that's the first time we'll see them. And like, because obviously Sam last time in season 1 wasn't doing karate. So
right.
if they came across, if she was doing the karate, it would have been interesting.
Right. That's just an interesting, the story can go on so much longer. That's the thing. These characters, I don't know how, it's not a short story, I think they can keep going, and who knows when we see these people win or fight each other. That's the excitement of it, is who knows what they're going to create for us, but I just cannot wait.
All right, I have to go back to school now. See ya.
Okay,
thanks for coming on, man.
See ya.
See ya.
We have this stranger. He's called Matt Lewis. Do you know who Matt Lewis is?
Oh my gosh, I don't.
I mean, I'll add him, but he seems.
I've never heard of him.
Seems very. Matt Lewis? Hey, it's Ron.
He has to make everything. He has to pop in, make everything.
How's it going, man? Good to see
you. I missed your face, Matt. I have missed your face.
I have missed your face too. I haven't seen you in forever, except of course when I watch Cobra Kai like every day.
On a loop. Yeah.
How did you hurt your foot?
Actually, that's a great question.
How many margaritas were involved in this injury?
I wish. Now I have to stay on a full margarita, regimen just to deal with the pain. That's how. I'm basically a doctor. So the concrete at the RV park was a little wonky, and Dave threw our rug out over some wonky concrete, and then it was like a sinkhole. I walked out the door and I fell into the hole, into the crevasse. Now he seems to think that I have like baby feet, and that is why that hole was not big enough for a normal human foot to go into. So we have really differing stories, but it's getting better. I can hobble. It's disgusting to look at. It's disgustingly bruised. So that's lovely. I won't. Can you imagine if I just kicked my foot up onto the screen? Here, look at my foot. It happens. At least nothing's broken. But of course, I am someone, when I fall or something like that, I immediately think it's broken. Like I'm immediately screaming out it's broken. And I don't think it's broken. It's just horribly swollen and bruised. Ridiculous.
Ow.
But trying to keep it together. So once I heal, then I'm going to start taking some karate.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you. Thanks for having me on, Shimon.
It's good
No,
to
you're welcome,
see
man.
you,
Thanks for coming
Matt.
on.
Take care of yourself.
Take care, Matt.
Take care.
Bye, babe.
Oh, it's good to see him. All right, we have.
Ooh.
Let's get on. Michael. Okay, it's a bit strange. It's blank. Michael, are you there?
Mine's just like spinning.
Okay, let's get someone else on. Let's get Sam. Hello, Sam.
Hey.
Hi,
How are
Sam.
you, man?
Hi. Yeah,
Hi.
I'm not doing too bad.
Oh,
Where
good
are
to see you,
you?
man.
I'm in my bedroom.
Oh, but where is it like geographically?
UK.
Okay.
In the UK.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
My question is, out of all 30 episodes, which one is your favorite?
Oh,
Oh, big one. Big question.
unbelievable. How would I ever pick that? Obviously, the ones that I'm in. That's an aside. Oh, man, it's just it's all so good. I would say,
Yeah.
as crazy as the end of season 2 was, that was a pretty wild scene.
Yeah.
Just from
Yeah.
choreography, it was one shot going through everything. I mean, it was incredible. It was pretty beautiful to watch. So maybe I will, just from it probably was a lot of work to put that together. I'm going to say maybe the fight scene, and then so shocking. I mean, Miguel, I couldn't believe
How they did my boy dirty like that.
Oh, losing my mind. So I'm gonna go with that. I mean, I don't know. Allie and Johnny at lunch, there's just
Yeah.
so
That
many
was
good
good,
ones.
yeah.
So many good ones. What's your favorite episode, do you think?
My favorite episode is the season 3 finale where Hawk betrays Cobra Kai and flips Rickenberger.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's just so many. I think Hawk is an incredible character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
mean, my
excited
mum
to see.
says that my mum actually wants me to get a haircut like Hawk's. Like, I've actually had
Flip the script.
Like,
Okay.
I've actually had my size of my hair shaved, and I'm working to get a mohawk.
Okay. I would
Go
like
for it,
to
man.
see that very much. I think that would be, why not? It's a cool look for sure. I like it.
Flip the script. That's exactly what
Yeah.
Hawk
Can't
did.
wait. Yeah, I can't wait till we see you next time and you will have full mohawk.
I better see a mohawk next time you're on this. Sam.
Yeah, it might be.
Because you're
take a
back
few
from the
weeks.
tournament.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to see this. Seriously, I want to see
Yeah.
a mohawk.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
gonna hold you to it.
Yeah, when I get it, I'll send you a message on Instagram, Shamoon.
Yeah,
You can
post
send me
it.
one too. I
Yeah,
want to.
I'm gonna
Tag
post on my
us.
Instagram.
Tag
Okay,
us. Post
perfect.
it and tag us. We want to see
Yeah.
it. We
I'd
want
like
to see
to
some
see it.
mohawk.
For sure.
All right, Sam. Take care, man. Good to see you.
Nice
All right.
to meet
Yeah.
you.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take it easy. All right, that's a wrap, guys. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for your
Yay.
questions. Good to see Matt and everyone else. And Cara, most importantly, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me. I just loved connecting with you and chatting. It was an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure as well. It's been awesome. So, guys, thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Me and Cara are signing out. We'll see you next time or at the next tournament, as I like to say.
Bye, guys.